Just one tick of the clock and 2020 is history. I mean, that's what happened just a couple of weeks ago, right? 1 second was the difference in 2020 and a new year, 2021. But here's the problem, is one tick of the clock is not going to bring about the change we so desperately need in our world today. 2021 is an opportunity, but it is not a guarantee. We're not guaranteed something different is going to happen this year. We're not guaranteed something amazing will happen as opposed to last year. You know, we read in the Bible a lot of miracles, and I think we misunderstand the miracles a lot of times. I've got a friend that years ago he came to me. He said, "My son is so lazy. If I were to walk into the house right now, find him laying on the couch and say, 'Hey son, I've got a $20 bill for you,' my son would say, 'How about rolling me over and stick it in my pocket for me?'" I will tell you that his son did grow up and great things have happened in his life. You know what? I believe that's how we treat God a lot of times. We expect God to show up with a blessing. We expect God to roll us over, put us in the position we need to be in, and just pour the blessing inside of us. That's not how it works. Let me give you a few examples, like in Matthew chapter 9, when there was a man who couldn't walk. He got his healing, but Jesus told him this way. He said, "Take up your bed and go home." He didn't say, "You're healed, now take up your bed and go home." He said, "Take up your bed and go home." Or John chapter 9, where there was a blind man and Jesus sent him to wash in a pool. And when he washed his face, that's when his eyes began to see. There was opportunity, and the man took advantage of the opportunity, and because of that, he received his miracle. Something like this in 2 Kings chapter 5, where Naaman, who was a leper, he had a skin disease. He went to Elisha, and he thought Elisha was going to come out and, give some big, huge prayer or something, but Elisha just told him, "Go down to the Jordan River and wash 7 times. He didn't get his miracle until he dipped 7 times. He had an opportunity. He had to take advantage of the opportunity. Malachi chapter 3, the Israelites were struggling in so many areas of their life. And God said, the problem is you need to bring all the tithe, bring the full tithe into the storehouse. And God says, then I will pour out blessings on you that you can't contain. Okay, so he didn't say you can have all these blessings. He said, come on, let's partner with this. You've broken the partnership. Let's get back together and partner. Here's your opportunity. John chapter 11, when Lazarus had died, the good friend of Jesus, Jesus raises him back from the dead. But before anybody saw him take his first step, Jesus told them, roll the stone away from the tomb. They had to roll the stone away, and then Jesus called him back to life. Or in Matthew chapter 17, when Simon Peter asked Jesus, are we going to pay taxes? Because, they're asking me about them. Jesus doesn't say, hey, reach in your pocket, I'm going to make a miracle happen there. No, he says, go down to the lake, cast in a line, go fishing. That sounds like the kind of direction I'd like to receive from God, right? You want a miracle? Go fishing. Well, that's what he told Simon Peter, and he got his miracle. John chapter 8, when a woman who was caught in the act of adultery, the religious people today wanted to stone her, and they brought her to Jesus. And if you go to our sermon notes, you can read the story for yourself. He runs everybody off, and then he says, where are those who condemn you? And she says, there's no one here condemn me. And Jesus said, I don't condemn you either. And then he said this, go and sin no more. It's not just to her, but there were other people Jesus told this to. And sometimes he would say, go and sin no more, lest a worse thing come upon you. Here's what we need to understand is salvation is free. Jesus died, he paid the full price for our salvation, to forgive your sins, to make you right with God, to reserve you a spot with him in eternity. He's paid all of that, and that's free. But if we don't continue walking the way we should walk, there are some worse things that can happen to us than what's already happened in our lives. In other words, actions have consequences. Good actions have good consequences. Bad actions have bad consequences. There are opportunities in front of us, opportunities to do good, opportunities to keep ourselves from evil, and we have to decide what we're going to do with that. The new sermon series is, This is the Year. Now that's not a sentence. It's kind of the start of a sentence, right? And you and I, we have to figure out how we're going to finish that sentence off. This is the year, what? We have to decide. Decide, what is it? What is 2021 going to be? Make up your mind. And then we have to make the choices. We have to make the decisions to take advantage of doing the right things that are going to bring that right result. We can't just continue to do what we did in 2020 and expect things to look different in 2021. I think if I were going to title this sermon, I would have titled it, This is the Year for Less Talk and More Action. Now, we're Christians, and we've got the greatest message in the world, And we have to share that message. So we do have to talk, okay? But I think sometimes we do more talking than we do acting. There are a lot of people I could say that I can read their Facebook posts, I can read their social media, I can read their blogs, and I can tell you what they say, but I can't tell you a whole lot of what they do. 2021 needs to be a year of less talk and more action in our lives. What is it you want to see? Then make up your mind and do it. But also as a church, 2911 stands on the verge of doing some awesome things in 2021. But it's not going to happen just because we say that's the kind of church we are. We can say, this is my church, and just sit on a chair. But you can't really say, this is my vision, this is my passion, this mission of this church is what I really believe in, until you roll up your sleeves, open your checkbook, clear off some time on your calendar. It's going to take more than just saying we're going to have to be acting in 2021 to see amazing things. This is the year.